Hi, this is Tiffany Staten, a video on supporting language and literacy development at home. So, hello, families. Today we're going to talk about something that plays an important role in your children's reading, writing, speaking, and overall success in school language development. So, language is much more than just knowing vocabulary words. It includes several connecting components that help your child understand and communicate with others. So, when your families intentionally support these skills at home, they're helping build a stronger foundation for literacy. So, today I'm just going to discuss the five major components of language structure and then add orthography, which focuses on the written system of language. So, we will also share simple activities families can use to support these skills in language development. The five components of language structure are phonology, which is the sound system of language. It includes understanding and using sounds in spoken words. For example, a child learning the word cat begins with the K sound, is developing phonological knowledge. Families, you can support phonology by playing sound games. You might ask, what words rhyme with cat? Or what sound do you hear at the beginning of the word sun? The second component is morphology. Morphology is going to involve the smallest meaningful parts of words, prefixes, suffixes, word endings. So, for example, adding S to dog is going to change it to dogs, and adding ed to jump changes it to jumped. Families can practice morphology by talking about word changes. You could say, yesterday we walked to the park. Today we are walking to the store. This helps children notice how word parts communicate the meaning at the time. The third component is syntax. Syntax refers to how words are organized to create sentences. So, for example, the dog chased the cat has different meaning from the cat chased the dog. Families, you can help by encouraging children to create complete sentences. So if your child says dog park, explain to it, yes, the dog is going to the park. The fourth component is semantics. Semantics is going to refer to the meaning of words and sentences. You can build semantic knowledge by talking about new vocabulary during everyday activities. While cooking, for example, you might introduce words such as measure, mix, ingredient, or temperature. The fifth component is pragmatics. So, pragmatics is involved using language appropriately in the social situations. Includes taking turns during conversations, staying on topic, asking questions, listening to others, and understanding what they may speak differently depending on the situation. Families, you can support pragmatics by having conversations during meals, in the car, or running errands. You want to encourage your child to listen, respond, ask questions, and explain their ideas. Why is this important? Well, the foundational language skills are closely connected to literacy development. So when your children uses the knowledge of sounds, words, structures, sentence structures, vocabulary, communication to make sense what they read and eventually write. Research early literacy development has consistently emphasized the importance of foundational language and literacy skills. So, knowledge about language works provides children with important tools for becoming successful readers and writers. So, in other words, children do not learn to read and write complete separate from language. Their oral language experiences help provide the foundation for literacy. This is why everyday conversations in language or experiences at home are so valuable. The sixth component is we want families to understand is orthography. Orthography refers to written sentences, language, including letters, spelling patterns, how sounds are representative in writing. Families, you can support orthography in simple ways. For example, when reading a book together, point out letters and words. Talk about how letters represent sounds. Encourage your child to write grocery lists, birthday cards, labels, stories, or even short messages. You might ask, what letter makes the M sound? Or can you think of another word that starts with the same letter? These everyday activities help your child understand the relationships between spoken language and written language. So, 6 ways families can practice at home. Let's review some simple activities. So, for phonology, play rhyming and beginning sound games. For morphology, talk about word endings such as s, ed, ing, and discuss how they change the meaning. So for syntax, you want to encourage your child to create complete sentences and expand on what they say. For semantics, introduce new vocabulary, talk about what words mean. For pragmatics, practice conversations, taking turns, listening, asking questions, and responding appropriately. Orthography, read and write together. So you want to point out letters, spelling patterns, connection between sounds and letters, and encourage oral language. So, one of the easiest and most powerful things families can do is simply talk with your children. Ask open ended questions such as, what was your favorite part of the day? Why do you think that happened? And what would you do if you were the character in the story? Tell me more about that. So instead of asking questions that only require a yes or no answer, encourage your child to explain, describe, predict, make connections. So reading together is another excellent opportunity for conversations. So you don't always have to read every word on every page. Stop occasionally, ask your child what they notice, what they think might happen next, or how a character might be feeling. So remember, everyday experiences can become language learning opportunities. So in closing today, the most important message we want families to take away is language development happens every day. Talking, reading, singing, telling stories, playing games, writing, asking questions, listening to your child are all meaningful ways to build language skills. And families do not need expensive materials or complicated activities. So, what children need most are opportunities to hear language, use language, explore words, and have meaningful conversations. So, by supporting phonologic, morphology, syntax, semantics, chromatics, and orthography, families can help children develop foundational skills that need to become confident readers, writers, and communicators. Thank you for taking the time to learn about language development and for being an important part of your child's literacy journey.